Hello everybody, it's me GhostCritic and it is that time again. It's Thursday, it's a GhostCritic comic book review show. Got about, I think it's 7 books this week to review, and there was definitely a pick of the week this week. It was just phenomenal. Anybody who's following me on Twitter will probably already know what this is, but let's start off with the books that, while good, weren't worthy of epicness. And Larissa, if you're watching this, please don't hate me too much about what I'm about to say, because I know this is your favourite book at the moment. Revival, issue 9. Now, there's nothing wrong per se with this book. Norton and Tim Seeley are doing a good job. The only thing is, there's way too much going on. There's so many different plot lines going on, and nothing seems to be being resolved or explained, and they're just kind of piling up on top of each other. So, I mean, we've got the revivers. How did this happen? We've got this strange kind of ghostly white alien that's moving around the forest and the woodlands around the town. You've got the plotline of who killed M. Obviously she came back as a reviver, but who murdered her to begin with. The black market profiteers of all the pieces of revivers that they're chopping up, which is what this issue is basically about and what it centres on a lot. But still, there are still questions there. There was an allusion at I think it was the last issue between I think it was like the mayor and the sheriff, that something in the past that they're trying to cover up could come bubbling back up. So there's another plot line. Where has Anders gone? The guy who had been killing everybody and threw himself out of the I think it was the barn loft door and then disappeared. And of course you've got this kind of these meeting of the revivers, which kind of has this kind of cult feel about it, and there is obviously something quite weird going on there. And it just feels too much. Let's resolve a few of these storylines up, these plot lines, and, you know, pick up some new ones, move the book along. I feel like we're in a kind of hovering position where lots seem to be happening, but nothing actually is. So I'm going to give it a couple more issues, who knows. But if it doesn't start really throwing something good at me, it might go. I haven't spoken about this yet, but I have been picking up Nova. We're on to issue 3 here, and the thing with Nova is, and at the moment with issue 3, this is still a very much a setting up our Nova universe, and while there is a certain kind of push to the story here, this is again very much our young boy learning the ropes, being trained by Gamora and Rocket Raccoon. We've got the Watcher in here, who looks weird. A very different looking Watcher than what we're used to, and more alien-like than past incarnations that I've seen anyway. And even though he's the Watcher, kind of a little bit helpful, shows our young Nova the incoming alien invasion that's on its way. It's a very quick read. There are multiple splash pages which all look very nice and action-packed and colourful and bright, and just what I'd expect from McGuinness's artwork, who I really do like. But it's over very quickly without really very much plot-driven storyline there. So if you're looking for something just a bit fun, sci-fi, you know, outer space, galactic kind of alien invasion impending, then this is probably a good book to pick up on. I think you could probably quite easily pick up and find issues 1 and 2 to catch up if that's what you want. So again, fun but nothing outstanding. But I'm not putting on my pull list yet, but I will keep picking it up off the shelves until something, you know, grabs me and goes, right, I really need to put this on my pull list. Wolverine and the X-Men, issue 27, and we kind of take a break from the Savage Land storyline and we have an Age of Ultron tie-in. Yippee! It's actually not that bad an issue for an Age of Ultron. You might have seen us talking about this on the Excalibur Brits podcast last weekend, and part of the story kind of ended with some of them going in the future and the rest of them staying in the supposed now, but Wolverine saying, you know, we should be using these time travelling gadgets to just go in the past, stop Hank Pym creating Ultron in the first place, and then none of this will have happened. And this is what the story is. Wolverine picks up one of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s one of those time-travelling cars that they had, and he takes Sue Storm with him, or she goes with him probably, to keep an eye on him, to find out where Hank Pym is in the past and stop him from creating Ultron. The interesting thing about this story is we start with two very differing ideas of what they're going back for. Wolverine is going to do anything at any cost to stop Hank Pym from creating Ultron, while Sue Storm is calm, cautious, don't do anything else while you're in the past. The whole butterfly effect, what you do here is going to affect everything that happens in the future from there. And of course they turn up at a S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of secret base to go and find out the location, and what's going to happen, as if Wolverine is going to keep to that don't touch anything scenario. And you know, is Sue Storm going to be tempted enough to perhaps point someone in the right direction, or give a kind of hint or a clue to someone to maybe make something change? And it's that kind of, by the end of the book, their ideas of going to find Hank Pym completely change. We now have Wolverine realising from being in the S.H.I.E.L.D. base and the things he gets up to, and chaos ensues, that yeah, we've got to tread carefully here. And he kind of pulls back from that idea of that, you know, I will go to the nth degree to stop Hank Pym, and if that means killing him, so be it. But that all gets changed. Well, what happens to Sue? Completely the other way round. She realises now that, you know, if it comes to it, she is ready to, you know, put the hurt on Hank Pym. Actually, a really enjoyable issue of Wolverine the X-Men for an Age of Ultron tie-in. If you aren't reading Age of Ultron, you won't have a clue what's going on. Let's be honest, you won't. It will just be kind of a funny kind of, oh, what's that all about? Where's this suddenly come from? As if you don't know Age of Ultron is going on at the moment anyway, but still, you won't understand why they've gone in the past. But still, it's nice to see Medina back on art for a bit, at least for this issue. Haven't really been digging the previous artist in the Savage Land. But again, fun issue, nothing spectacular, but kind of an interesting character analysis of both Wolverine and Sue Storm and their kind of changes throughout the book. Batwoman, issue 19, and it's all about family in this issue. This is another of those What the 52 gatefolds. To be honest, this front cover is lovely. When I opened it up and saw the whole thing, it didn't really say anything to me, and I was like, nah. I wasn't as overexcited like a couple of other people that I noticed making comments on Twitter. It didn't really smack as a what the, oh my god kind of moment, like it should have been, like the others are meant to be and are more so than this. Anyway, what goes on inside? Like I said, it's very family orientated book this this month. We have Chase tracking down her sister for advice, of all things. This is Detective Chase of the DEO. And we kind of get some backstory about both of them and their father. We have Maggie's having these nightmares, and it all connects to the past storyline with all the children dying, the children dying and being found in the water, and Batwoman is there in her dream, finding them all and just laying them all out. Now, I don't know if I've missed something or this has happened in another Bat title, but apparently Maggie was shot with some Scarecrow serum. I must have missed that or forgotten about it because I don't remember that happening. Maybe that happened in the chaos that ensued with the whole Hydra in Gotham scenario from the past story arc, but this kind of confused me a little, but I was willing to keep going with the storyline. Now, the artwork from it's McCarthy. A lot of it is from Trevor McCarthy this time, and you can tell it's nice to see a much more traditional style of storytelling with the kind of traditional panel layouts. There is, however, a double page spread that for me was just way too messy. Batwoman and Flamebird, or whatever she's calling herself now, they're kind of teaming up to take down a villain called Shard, and it's just a mess. It's very difficult to see what's going on. I know what they're trying to do, because what we're actually seeing is like a screen of an iPad, and Batwoman has put little comments and arrows throughout this kind of picture saying, oh, you were like 0.25 seconds slow here, or you missed an opportunity there. But it just looks a complete mess, and it makes it very difficult to actually see what is going on, which, if the red lines and the comments weren't there, might have actually been quite a good kind of two-page spread, but it was messy. So we find out what the DEO actually really want Batwoman to do now, and that is get her to find out who is Batman. And through all her saying no, 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 not even having her father put back in jail changes her mind, the DEO throw out their trump card. And yes, it's Batwoman's sister. It was a good issue of Batwoman, but it was just a good issue. It wasn't an exceptional one, probably partly due to the artist, because, you know, as soon as you don't get Williams III on it, it kind of takes a slip, and the exceptional title just goes to a good solid title. But I always like Batwoman. It's a really good title. Keeps me wanting to come back and find out what's going to happen next, which is what a comic book should really do. Next on our list from Vertigo, it's issue 128 of Fables, and Bigby is finally back to save his wife from Oh, I've forgotten his name. You know, whoever the guy is that wants to marry her and they made a promise when they were practically children. Anyway, there's a huge, epic fight scene between Big B and our villain of the piece, I'll call him. But does everything span out the way we expect it to? Is Big B going to win the day? Is Snow going to have to sort this out herself? I mean, the storyline, this story arc is called Snow White. So you're expecting Snow to, you know, it sounds weird, man up. She has a plan. She has a plan on taking down Brandish. That's his name. It's Brandish. She has a plan of her own. If only someone would get her out of that blooming tower. And that's for her sister Red Rose to finally think of a way to do it and whisk her off to find something that's going to help her. I actually don't often talk about the artwork in here. I think it's just because I'm so used to how great this title is, but this is certainly an exceptional artwork from Buckingham this issue. The fight scene, the way it flows across all the pages, breaking the panels, Brandish flipping fluidly through the pages, it's just beautiful to look at. You know me, I love Fables, I will always champion it. I'm so happy that I've got so many people to pick this up right from the beginning, because we're quite away. And from what I've heard back from all of you lot, you've really been enjoying it, and I knew you would, because Fables, it's just enchanting. There is a magic about it. The storylines are just so well done by Willingham that he never ever lets you down. Love it. But not pick of the week. And neither was my penultimate book. And any other week this probably would have been pick of the week, because it is a very good book. Has been a solid title for so long. Rejuvenated for its third volume. Daredevil. Issue 25. And for those of us, I don't want to say that he's been having an easy ride in this new volume written by Mark Waid, but given what Bendis and Brubaker and Diggle put him through at the end of the last volume, he certainly has had things a little bit easier for them, despite what he's, you know, been through. I mean, he's been headless at one point, but there has been a much more lighter feel to it, despite how dangerous some of the scenarios he's had to get through. Personally, I've not felt that he's been hugely challenged. This is that issue where finally Daredevil has a villain that matches his abilities. At the end of last year, we had Larry, the convenient plot point, one of the guys that was going to be experimented on. We saw a couple of issues back, someone is trying to recreate Daredevil by replaying the scenario in the way that Matt Murdock got his powers, and Larry has apparently escaped. Larry has apparently found Matt Murdock and knows he's Daredevil, and apparently he knows where our villain is housed up. Daredevil knows this is a trap right from the start, but he's willing to play along and go and find out who has been behind all this chaos that has been hitting his life for a while now. And here we meet Ikari Fury, and Ikari, he has all the powers, all the abilities of Daredevil, you know, the keen sense of smell, the radar sense, the top-notch hearing, but he has one extra advantage, which is transpires and the reader finds out once they finish this story. Wonderful, wonderful fight scene, beautifully illustrated by Sam Neill. Do you remember when Sam Neill first came on this title? I wasn't the biggest fan. Can't imagine him not on the title anymore, but you know it's going to come. Sam Neill is going to go and have to go on another title, or someone else is going to have to come in, and we're all going to go, oh no, oh no. But yes, Sam Neill does a great job portraying this brilliant fight scene where you kind of see Daredevil. Has he finally met his match? Is he going to be defeated by our Ikari? The nice little flashbacks in here to when he was a young boy being trained by Stick were really nicely thrown in there, and obviously fitted what Wade was trying to say within the story. And with an extra sized issue coming next month, so excited to see what's going to happen. Just another phenomenal issue from Mark Waid and Chris Samney on Daredevil. You should be picking this up. Now finally, my pick of the week, and what a glorious read this was. I mean, just look at the cover. It's 5 Ghosts, issue 2. Oh mama, this is a good book. Why this is only a mini-series, issue 2 of 5. Oh, I hope there's more to come from this team up. It's just got... It reminds me of when I was younger, when I was in like my younger years, and there used to be these kind of, you'd watch them now and you think they were incredibly tacky and cheesy, but the kind of late 60s, early 70s sci-fi fantasy adventure stories where our epic daring hero is captured and you think there's no way they're going to escape, and then you know it's all action packed and thrilling and fast paced, and that's exactly what this book is like. We have Fabian and his cohort, they've been captured by these tribal men, and they've been tied to big long pillars, and they're chanting this sacrificial chant, and you know something big and bad is going to come out of the shadows, and it's a huge spider, and you know it looks like it's the end for our heroes, but you know it's issue 2, it's not going to happen. And how do they escape? Well, we have this shadowy aide in the corner helping him out, and it's just got this glorious retro feel to it. The way that Fabian accesses all the powers of the 5 ghosts that inhabits his body, but then the way he uses them, you know, you're surrounded by huge spiders, and you think, why the hell would you use Sherlock Holmes' power, you know, of deduction and investigation? How would that possibly work? Works fantastically. It's great. And of course, you know, all these spiders coming in, there's no way out. How is this going to happen? And then he brings on the Dracula, the vampire, and he goes feral. It's up to our mysterious figure, our saviour from being gobbled up by huge spiders, comes to the rescue, and we have a huge blimp ready to whisk us away. And then that final page where we have our villain of the piece kind of looking down in a kind of crystal ball. I found you, and what? Oh, it's so good. And with Moynihan's artwork, that kind of crosses between kind of the kind of psychedelia with the horror genre, with the adventure genre, it all just works. And like I said, it's got this wonderful kind of retro 70s feel that just appeals to me so much. If you didn't pick this up at the comic book shop yesterday, go today, pick it up before they run out. This classic. That's me done for the week. Thank you for watching, everybody. What a great week in comics. If you're new here, please subscribe if you fancy, if you like what you saw. And if you did like what you saw and you wanted to subscribe, I'm sure you'd like to give it a big thumbs up too. Any comments down below, I'll be quite happy to read and hopefully be able to comment back at you. I read them all, I try and respond to all of them. That's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall no doubt see you on Sunday for the Excalibur Brits podcast. I believe we have a very special guest, so it'll be very worthwhile you coming along to watch. Bye.